It's fascinating to see how UX design field evolved over the years, especially with the emergence of new roles in 2024. Although it might be fascinating and intriguing, it also can produce a lot of confusion for so many people. So if you want to start a UX design career and don't know what each job would suit you best, I strongly keep on watching, because in this video I'm about to breaking down into each role, its responsibilities, the required skills and more. But first, let's see how the UX design term appeared. It was introduced by Don Norman in the early 90s while he was working on Apple. And Don Norman said that designers should focus on providing an overall enjoyable, meaningful experience for users, including aspects like branding, usability, and customer satisfaction rather on aesthetics. Now, if you're working in a large organization and you may be part of a UX design department that is made up of 5 or 6 designers, the job responsibilities should be assigned to each role. And let's see what each role represents. The UX designer. Now, the UX designer is the most well-known job title in the industry, and they have a lot of responsibilities, but to simply put, they are users' advocates, and they centralize all their effort to produce an overall meaningful experience. So they dig deep into people's problems and they propose design solutions to meet these needs. Okay, so you have to have an analytical mind, communication skills, you like to observe people. If you like psychology and all that, you are a good fit for UX designer. So now there is UI designer, and the UI designer is the one that is taking charge of designing the actual interface. So he has to produce an interface that works, that is usable and not only aesthetically pleasing. And he may craft UI components, buttons, grids, tables, notifications, and so on. He is taking care of typography, colors, negative space, and also on usability. So not only UX designers focus on usability, but also UI designer. And let me give you a quick example. If you have a list of 10 or 20 products and you might want to edit some of them, you can click on each one, make those edits, click save, and then go another product, make the same process again and again. So this may seem to be a useless process that takes a lot of time. Now a good UI designer can propose a sidebar on the left with the list of all your products and can reduce the effort by clicking on each one with ease. Or he can add a drop down in the breadcrumbs navigation menu that will help you reduce this effort and access products much easier. So this is more like a creative person, and he likes to study some apps in the industry, take screenshots. He reads a lot about colors, about buttons. He uses a lot of design systems and UI keys to reinforce their creative process. So they keen more on creating things from scratch. They are so creative, okay? They upload their shots on Dribble or Behance or things like that. And they are insane about animation and all that. They are so happy when they produce nice things. Third role is the one of a product designer. Now, this one is in high demand at the moment, and it produces a lot of confusion between the UX designer and product designer. So what does a product designer do? Well, he integrates UX, UI with product aesthetics and implementation. So although he is taking charge of tasks of a UX designer, he's also like a project manager, and he's steering the process of the project development process from beginning to an end. So he conducts the life cycle of the entire product development. That's what he does. And he collaborates with the product department, with developers. He performs a lot of competitor analysis because he needs to know more and a lot about the industry of the product, especially the technical parts of it. And he talks also with managers. And if you still don't understand the difference between a UX designer and a product designer, let me give you a quick example. Let's say that you worked on, and the entire team worked on releasing some new features because some of the big clients ask for, and you validate those requests and you said, yes, this is a good opportunity to introduce the new features. And the manager said, let's display, let's announce these features through some banners at the top of the app, inside the dashboard or something like that. Now the UX designer might say, okay, but how long these banners will be displayed? We have to take care of the existing users because we don't want them to feel bombarded by all these banners, and we don't want to disturb them or something like that. So he's taking care of the users. You see, they are the users advocate. But product designers might say, but we also have to take care of the business goals, because these features will bring us a lot of money. The revenue will be increased, and we have to find a balance between big clients, small clients, revenue, and usability. So this is what a product designer does. He also has some business skills. Okay, so I hope now that you understand, guys. Now, the fourth job role is called the UX researcher. Now, this is a more difficult role because this requires a lot of learning, and it's so challenging for many designers, and many designers don't apply for this position because it requires a lot of knowledge. Now, what does a UX researcher do? Well, it's like a UX designer, but he only focuses on the research part. He behaves like a detective, and his main focus is to seek relevant information about users. And he relies on concrete facts, not assumptions or opinions. And he produces a lot of user research. He goes on field visits to see what are their people's problems, motivations, pain points, objectives, and they see how people currently solve this problem, and they see how, if the problem is a problem, because many times you find out later that this problem is not a problem for the users. They see if the users will pay for this solution, and also they perform a lot of usability testing to test if the design solution solve these needs. Okay, and they also they analyze quantitative and qualitative data. They perform a lot of consumer analysis and market analysis, competitor analysis, and so on. So there is a lot going on their plate. There is a lot of things going on here, but their main duty is to research. You have to have an analytical mind, a background in psychology will be a good thing, nice to have. And you have to communicate with people, to observe them, to go on field visits, to see people in their natural environment. The fifth job now is UX writer. I know this one, I think this one is pretty self-explanatory, as the title suggests. So what does a UX writer do? He crafts user-friendly copy related to usability while using an informative and professional tone. Okay, so he guides users through the navigation. He performs copy for while users completing some form. He guides them with a concise text, help descriptive text, and they help navigate the users in the intended way. This copy also must be aligned with the brand voice, has to be clear and concise. So the difference between the copy of a UX writer and the copy of a marketing specialist is the tone. The tone of a UX writer must be informative and professional, and the tone of a marketing specialist is persuasive. Download the app now, see the benefits. The sixth role is UX strategist. It's like a UX designer with business skills oriented towards the company business goals while having the user in mind. As for the duties, they meet with stakeholders to understand the business needs, the objectives, the priorities, the constraints such as budget, deadline, and technological constraints, to see what developers can use and so on. They have to be sure that all UX designers are aligned with the strategy. They have to define the KPIs. They have to oversee these KPIs. Let's say, for example, such as conversion rate, customer satisfaction, and user retention, something like that. They have to talk with and maintain a good communication between managers and stakeholders. So this is it. And now we have the seventh role is UX manager, and this one is also easy as the title suggests. UX manager is taking care of the entire UX department, and as for the duties, he assigns role for different projects. He can ensure that all the team will deliver outstanding results. He also taking care of salaries and things like that. He has people skills and is he always looks for ways to improve UX processes and methods through within the organization. So he is very busy and he runs the entire UX department. He also talks also with managers from other departments, and he responds to another manager side, such as CTO or something like that. Okay guys, so now I hope that you have a clear understanding of what each role represents. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you give it a thumbs up, give a comment if something that I missed. And please subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot. I know that many of you watches my video but don't subscribe. So please do that. And until next time, take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.